Okay, I've been cleaning this even inside and underneath like these things because I can remove this stuff. It's movable because I put under on top of my bed sometimes as a table for watching a Netflix or something. I just move my stuff there just to wash the floor, but I usually lock my suitcases to this metal thing. See how the paint's falling off? I had to clean that off the floor. So I opened one of their brand new mops. I'm at the 5th floor, a different room now, just because it's more quiet up here and there's a washer machine and I can hang my clothes up here. I'll show outside after. And I'm the only room up here and there's less noise coming from here than there is from the other side of the building where I was on the 2nd floor, right next to some bigger roads that keep honking all the time because it's the regular cultural thing to do. As you can see here, like I still have to clean this stuff. It's disgusting. Still so much to clean, and I don't have a fan in this room, but I have the AC. So, and these windows don't have screens, but I feel like less rats or birds would be interested in this area, it seems, or bugs. I haven't seen a lot of bugs, but I've been cleaning, and I'm going to put double mattress cover on here, and I usually put double pillowcases too. So I'm doing the cleaning because it was so dusty, this room. Nobody'd been here a long time, and just kind of the way they clean anyways is just usually like a quick wipe of the top of something, but not everywhere else around stuff that you might touch, like a chair you might touch underneath the hand grab and stuff. And I wash the pillow part with a rag as well, using some of my rags and some of theirs. So I just gave him today here in this hotel beside K Park Van Phu in Hanoi, or an outskirts of Hanoi, downtown area in Vietnam. And the price is cheap, but like I haven't met an honest person or somebody who wants to make or keep agreements. Everybody plays dumb, and everybody says I don't speak English when I've communicated really well, either through a translator or through gestures, which are very obvious to a 2-year-old. So it's pretty sad that it's like this. Now, I did expect this. HSD is strong everywhere, but I don't know if there's any parts of my heart left to be broken. I don't seem to react in an emotional way that I should, for coming so far away and being disappointed in the same ways. And it's partly because I'm not surprised, and the other part is, I've gone through this particular heartbreak before, so I got some, what's the word, not scabs, calluses, or maybe that have hardened on my heart, and I can handle this. Still, it's sad, I'm thinking, when am I going to really take a big breath, and my shoulders are going to relax down, and my back is going to relax. Because, as much as I could maybe afford a massage here, I'm not sure if I trust a place to go to a massage. I don't know if I'll ever find a place where I can rest and say I'm home. But even if I don't, I had to admit to myself today that if I have a decent night's sleep, really that counts for a lot too. It's not just kind of finding a last community to feel like I can recover from great fatigue. I don't think that's the right way to think. I think a good night's sleep refreshes me all the time, and that's how I know that I don't suffer from depression. Is every morning I seem to have reframed a lot of my thoughts that might have made me very sad or disappointed or hopeless the day before. And it's been at least 2.5 years of not being on antidepressants, and I don't need to, because I understand the triggers of the sadness, and I understand that I'm not part of the problem, and that's kind of a big relief, having that clarity, to not have been led to be domesticated, although there's attempts every day in every country I go to domesticate me. Even with a lot of the schools I've been applying and demonstrating my skills to, is they still don't see that teaching English without teaching how to communicate is useless. And without the parents and teachers role modeling it, again, is useless. Still, people insist on teaching their kids partial new language skills, a few words in English, or or even program computers, and yet they are social creatures, these kids, and they will never know how to make genuine connections because they will never know how to communicate with anybody in a productive and healthy way. And I see so many counterproductive, cultural destroying behaviors being passed on here, as well as the Chinese schools that I've studied, and Canadian schools, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere around the world. And that's why I'm thinking that there's something other than HSD that is speeding down the decline of the human race, because it's almost like what doesn't work about the human race is now being accelerated in some way that is not entirely explained solely with our own social phenomena of how we impact each other. There's something else happening. It's almost like the system is accelerating our crash, even though my next mission in life will be to mitigate the consequences that are negative to other components of the Earth system. It's almost like it doesn't care. It's almost like the rest of the system doesn't care. It just wants to get rid of humans really, really quickly by bringing down their downfall really quickly, as if it's easier than waiting another year, from the thousands and thousands of years where humans have acted like this, and it just wants to kind of bring about their crash quicker and reinvent the system with them booted out. So I'm not sure. I haven't studied what these things might be, but they're not all explained with our own social phenomenons or through my theory of HSD. I would say it explains a big portion of what we observe when we think in our anthropocentric way, but there's other things that I haven't had a chance to study, and I don't think anybody else has, that is speeding up our behaviors as if we're zombies, and we'll continue to create our own destruction in a way that is becoming just so much more widespread, and also without the ability for people to think differently. Like, as much as I will sometimes believe somebody understands how they're part of the problem, they still will say, I understand where you're coming from, but you just don't understand what it's like, or what I have to do, or what my life is like, and then they'll go back to being part of the problem. As much as I've explained that is, child abuse to their own kids and kids' friends and entire generation, is something weird going on. And it's not just in our brains. There's something else outside of our brains that our brains are connected to that is speeding up this downfall of our species. And I think that's okay. I mean, our species has been lazy, and it's never wanted to do the work to outgrow the negative impact of its own origins. It's always wanted to repeat the same cycles of abusing ourselves and other components. So it's a good thing if you're pro-life. What's not good, though, is to be a witness to it and a victimized messenger of it who has solutions to at least reduce the hardships of their kids' generation, and still people don't want to go there. They don't even want their kids to become human. And really, that's what I'm noticing in my educator programs, is that as much as I can demonstrate, like, let's say, healthy behaviors in groups, which I've done recently, let's say, it's still not what people want me to do, to teach that to the kids, or to teach it to other teachers, how to teach that to the kids, how to be healthy in a community together. And it's really not, it's the parents just, maybe they're afraid that if their kids become too human, they'll lose them, and they already feel so alone. And of course everybody feels alone, not just me. I don't think they feel to the extent that I feel alone, but it's because we have stopped training ourselves to be human, or to allow our humanity to even evolve with what has brought us to the point that we were maybe hundreds or thousands of years ago, where collective learning was a more important part of most cultures, and an entire village teaching kids and also teaching each other, I think, and I think the understanding of that concept has never been
added on to any mission statement of any countries or really any major societies, especially when the monetary paradigms came in or the religious paradigms dominated. So it's, yeah, it's pretty much the end of things, and it's sad. And you know, even if I don't help any more than maybe at my own pace, because I'm drained finishing a book that will be ignored until maybe 600 years later or something, is I would still like to find just a woman to love, you know, and whether she has kids or not, and settle down in a community that will allow me to work part-time in a way that is teaching things I agree with, you know, or even, you know, do farming or something like that, and you know, even if I find this and it lasts just 3 years before I die, or before maybe people get very upset with my book or whatever it is I will still think that those 3 years will have been worth 3 years of happiness, let's say being in a healthy relationship with a woman, will have been enough for me to have suffered everything I've suffered since a very, very young age. How can I be, you know, because people will eventually maybe want to study my life a bit more, how could I not have become so angry and bitter and vengeful or unforgiving? How can I still every day role model the right things and walk away, you know, from abuse, being sad and not vengeful? Well, I have answers to this, but I'd like to hear somebody say what they think it is, because I think that's pretty impressive that I'm treated the way I am constantly, and that I'm still a good person. I think that's pretty much a very unique thing that would be worth, you know, if it's the only thing I'm ever acknowledged for, instead of maybe my scientific work, it would still be something that would make me proud. And I'm the one that gives myself pats on the back like this every night, because nobody else does it. So, thank you.